let's set a few things straight. All right, Megan, there is no way that I'm going to sit by you as your mom sucks Roger dry for the rest of your lives. Roger told me all about your little plan. You want us to move into your house with you after we get married, right? Yuck, I would never want to live with my in-laws. No, Roger and I are going to build a brand new house of our own and live far, far away from you losers. Or if you really want us to live there, I guess we could, on the condition that you and your mom move out. Lisa? I'm sorry, I'm not really following you here. Is that really what my brother told you? That my mom wants you to move into our house with us? If that's really what she told Roger, then that's news to me. Oh, come on, really? Don't play dumb with me. I told you, Roger already told me everything. I would rather live in a cardboard box in some alley downtown in between a homeless drunk addict and a dumpster than live with my mother and sister-in-law. I don't really know what made you and your mom think that you could force me into something like that, but you are dead wrong. Me and Roger will be enjoying our newlywed life in privacy, thank you very much. So I'm sorry, but you'll have to come up with a retirement plan other than to keep relying on your rich doctor brother to pay for everything. Once we get married, I don't want either of you to speak to us ever again. I know that Roger would never come right out and say this to your face because he's way too kind for his own good. So as his bride-to-be, I decided to do the dirty work for him and tell you the honest truth. Lisa, please slow down. I don't understand anything you're saying. You think that we're relying on my brother to support us financially? What do you mean? Am I talking to a brick wall? What don't you understand? I mean, I was pretty shocked to find out that Roger came from a dirt poor single-parent home, but that's not Roger's fault and it's not his responsibility. So when I first heard about that, I was kind of like, okay, whatever, no big deal. But then he keeps telling me that he wants to keep living at your house even after we get married, and there is no way I'm gonna let that happen. Dirt poor single-parent home? I'll have you know my mother worked her butt off to raise us all by herself, and she did a fantastic job. So I don't know where you get off talking about our family like that. You don't even know anything about our family at all. I know you're about to marry my brother and all, but I have to say I am not a fan of your attitude at all, Lisa. And what makes you think I care about your opinion? What's the matter? Are you mad that I called your loser mom out for what she is? Well, go and cry to her about it if you want. See if I care. The truth hurts, doesn't it? Don't blame me for pointing it out. Blame your mom for being so unappealing that she couldn't find any man who would put up with her. Excuse me? You're talking about the woman who will be your mother-in-law before too much longer. Are you really going to say such terrible things about her, or are you out of your mind? Have you been paying attention? I told you that neither you nor your mom are welcome in our lives after the wedding. Really, you should be thanking your lucky stars that your brother is a much kinder person than I am. He even wants to invite you to his wedding despite the fact that you're nothing but a couple of parasites. I've been doing my best to convince him otherwise. Right. Well, I have no idea what Roger's been telling you about us, but I will tell you one thing. You have got the completely wrong idea, and you should chill out before you say something you'll regret. What aren't you understanding, Megan? Roger already told me everything. I know that Roger's been forking out truckloads of cash to you and your mom because you're too lazy and incompetent to support yourselves. And he is such a frickin' saint that he's doing it willingly, and he doesn't even hold it against you. I feel so sorry for him. Nice guys like Roger always get taken advantage of. But having your own family take advantage of you, that has got to be painful for him. Is that all you texted me about? You just wanted to spout baseless lies about my family to me? You should be grateful that I even deigned to speak to you maggots at all. And that reminds me, what are you still doing at home? Go get a husband and have him take care of you. Stop mooching from your brother already. When and if I get married is no business of yours, and I'll thank you to stay out of my personal business. In any case, I have to say I am incredibly disappointed to see that this is the sort of woman you really are, Lisa. You think you're disappointed? I just learned recently that my soon-to-be mother and sister-in-law have been stealing my money from me. Every cent that Roger gives you is 1 cent that he should be giving to me. All I wanted was to have a positive relationship with my in-laws, but now I know that's just not going to be possible. Seriously, Roger never gave off the impression that he was the product of a broken home. He must have struggled so much up until now because of you. It's not like people get to choose their parents. Poor Roger got stuck with a woman who was so repulsive that the man who had kids with her couldn't even stand her. All you know about my mom is that she's a single mother. How dare you go and make all of those terrible assumptions about her? Whatever, you can go ahead and say whatever you want. I don't care anymore. You want us out of your life, right? Well, after this little conversation, I'll be more than happy to never have to speak with you again. Go ahead. You and my brother can have all the private time you want in our family's house. My mother and I will move out as soon as possible. Actually, I think my mom will be just fine with this outcome. Aw, look at you, trying to act all tough to cope with being called out for the vermin you are. It would be hilarious if it weren't so pathetic. You have until the wedding to move out of the house. Once that's over, I don't ever want to see or hear anything from you ever again. As you wish. I suppose it's a bit too late for this, but you know what they say. Be careful what you wish for. Lisa, what's going on? The venue staff just showed us to our seats and they're in the hallway? Is this some kind of joke or just a simple mistake? Oh, I see you're finally here. Thank you so much for coming to celebrate with us on our big day. I prepared special seats for you that are more fitting for people of your caliber. Oh, and you'll love the special meal you'll be getting at the reception. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches made fresh and just for you. I think the two of you have siphoned off more than enough of Roger's money already. You should be more than satisfied with that. I see. Well, in that case, we're leaving. We don't have to put up with this kind of insulting treatment. Aw, what's the matter? You have no idea how much trouble I went to for you. The caterer we booked for the reception doesn't make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I had to make them myself. All that work, and this is the thanks I get? Yeah, that nasty, smug, stuck-up attitude of yours is exactly what I'm talking about. My mom and I are leaving immediately. I'm sure you'll be able to enjoy your wedding much more without us here to spoil it for you. Oh my God, you are pathetic. What is up with that? The whole "you can't fire me, I quit" routine is so cringe. If you're leaving, then just shut up and leave already. I told you before to chill out before you say something you'll regret. I guess you didn't heed my warning. Oh well, it's your funeral.
Megan, wait, come back! This is all a misunderstanding! Please, you have to go and tell Mom that this wasn't my fault. I had no idea. All of this was Lisa's doing. I didn't have any part in it. You've got to believe me. I'm going to talk to the venue staff and have them get out some proper seats for you right away. I'll call the caterer, too.
Roger, I'm not going to listen to anything you have to say. Lisa is the woman you chose to be your wife, so I wish you the best of luck because you're sure going to need it to deal with her for the rest of your life. Oh, and you don't need to call the venue staff. Mom is talking to them right now.
No, don't do that. Please, I'm telling you this isn't my fault. I never told her to do this. I never wanted her to do this. She started looking down on you guys ever since I told her about Mom being a single mother. And then the hate just kept getting worse and worse and worse. She's out of control. I was shocked when I heard she had you guys sitting in the hallway. I couldn't believe it.
Don't think for a second that I'm going to let you throw this all on her. You are directly responsible for making her go out of control. You've been lying to her about anything and everything since the moment you met her. And thanks to that, that awful woman is treating us like trash. Honestly, if anyone deserves to get looked down on and called a loser and parasite, it's you.
Come on, Megan, don't be like that. You just don't know Lisa like I do. She has kind of a stubborn side. I don't know, she has this idea that single-parent homes are like disaster areas. And I mean, if that's how she wanted to feel, then I didn't see how it was any of my business to convince her otherwise. I get now that maybe I should have said something sooner, though. I'll talk to her, okay? So please, come back to the wedding. And you've got to do something to get Mom to calm down, too. You're the only one that can get through to her when she's like this.
You don't get to rely on me whenever it's convenient for you, Roger. And by the way, what's this about you being a doctor? Don't tell me you're just saying that to make yourself look even better in comparison to us. If that's really what you're doing, then good God, Roger, that is so lame.
Hey, don't call me lame. So what if I inflate my resume a little bit here and there? What I tell my fiancé about myself is none of your concern.
Is that what you think? Okay, then fine. I think the little disaster that's brewing for you right now is none of my concern either. Me and Mom are leaving like we said we would.
Seriously, Megan, you can't do this to me. My future is on the line, you know.
Seriously, what were you planning to do after you got married? Did you think you were going to kick me and Mom out of the house? You weren't content just to belittle us to boost your ego. You had to take our home from us, too?
I was gonna think of something.
Oh, yeah? When?
After the wedding. I already talked to Lisa about moving into the family house with all of us. Plus, I figured that once we got married and she got to know you guys, she might be a lot more open to having a good relationship with you and Mom.
She called Mom a repulsive woman who can't get a man. Oh, and she also called both of us vermin, leeches, parasites, and a few more things that I forgot. So what do you think, Roger? Do you think that anything we say or do would even put a dent in the massive prejudice she has against us? I know what you're thinking. Lisa's definitely one of the prettier girls that you've dated in the past, and you probably won't get a chance to marry a girl like her again. So I can understand why you'd want to make yourself look as good to her as you possibly can. But for real, Roger, all you're doing is making a fool of yourself, and I'm super embarrassed for you. You're doing all of this to land yourself a trophy wife like her? You have awful taste in women.
Hey, who do you think you are anyway? Just because you're my boss doesn't mean you get to talk down to me like that. You think you're such hot stuff because Mom likes you a little bit more than she likes me. All I'm doing is what I feel is necessary in order to secure a good future for myself. It would be nice if I could get just a little bit of support from my family.
You know what, Roger? You're on your own. You haven't changed a bit ever since we were kids. All you've ever done is try to make yourself look better by putting other people down. And now you think I have to go along with your lies to help you land an absolute harpy for a wife? I can't handle this anymore.
Don't act like this is all my fault. You're partially responsible too. But in any case, today is our wedding day. This is no time for you to be digging up old grudges. It's a day for celebration. You might be a lost cause, but as long as I can convince Mom to back me up, everything will be fine. It looks like Mom has my phone number blocked, so you need to convince her to come back here and talk to me.
I can't handle you anymore. You really don't get what sort of position you're in right now, do you? Well, you're about to learn the hard way. Both you and that vile woman are in for a world of hurt, starting now. Hey, what gives? Why is the venue staff telling us our reservation for today was canceled? All of a sudden, Roger got real pale and went off to make a phone call, and he never explained to me what in the world is going on. You have to know something, so start explaining right now. I don't know, Lisa. If you're texting me, I'm pretty sure that means you at least have some clue what's going on. And if that's the case, then you should also know that there's nothing you can change by talking to me. And not to mention, didn't you tell me you never wanted to speak to me again? I didn't realize never again meant until you need me for something. You're exactly like my brother. Really, the two of you are perfect for one another. Don't tell me. Did you complain to the venue or something? I don't believe it. They would go and cancel our reservation over one lousy complaint? No, Lisa, you're letting your insane imagination run away with you again. I did not complain to the venue, and even if they did, they wouldn't cancel it over a complaint. They're contractually bound to let us hold the wedding here. Only the person who made the reservation can cancel it. Then who canceled it? Roger didn't. I didn't. Who did? It was my mom. Wait, what? Surprised? Yeah, my mom was the one who paid for all the costs of your wedding. Not only that, the person who owns the chapel is a longtime friend of hers. Once she found out that you had placed our seats in the hallway and were going to make us eat trash for lunch, all she had to do was make one single phone call and everything was taken care of. Wait a second, I don't understand. Your mom paid for the wedding? No way, that's impossible. Roger was the one who paid for everything. He told me so himself. I hate to break it to you, but everything Roger told you was a lie. I doubt he has enough money in his savings account to pay for the wedding cake, much less the whole wedding. I mean, that guy has the absolute worst money skills out of everyone I know. Money skills? But he's rich. What part of everything didn't you understand? Nah, I guess I can't fault you completely. Roger is a good liar. Even when you catch him dead to rights, though, he'll just try and find some lame excuse or blame somebody else. My mom is more aware of that than anyone, which is why me and him have such vastly different positions in the hospital. He's a low-level assistant, and I'm the assistant director. What? Hold on, slow down. What in the world are you talking about? You and your mom only work part-time. Roger's the one who has to pay the bills. That's why he can't move out of your house. Roger told me that he can't move out because if he stops paying the mortgage, then it's gonna get repossessed. I mean, he is so dedicated to keeping you guys off the streets that he said if I didn't want to live with you guys after we got married, then we can keep the same situation we have now, where I live in my apartment and he lives in your house. Oh, so that's the story he's been telling you. Okay, now it all makes a lot more sense. I gotta hand it to him. He's quite gifted at making up stories. He really has you thinking that he's some magnanimous, successful, family-oriented Superman who's concerned for his wife. When the truth is, he's a lazy bum who spends money as quickly as he earns it and would be broke within a week if he left home. Wait, he would be broke within a week? But you are the ones relying on him to pay the mortgage. I have been trying to tell you, Lisa, that is the complete opposite of the truth. But he's a doctor. Why would he need you to keep him from going broke? He's not a doctor. He's an assistant. And as for what he assists with, it's whatever he can do the least amount of damage with. He just uses the fact that his mom runs the hospital to act bossy around all the real doctors. There isn't one person at the entire hospital who enjoys working with him, and that includes me and Mom. Since he rarely ever works and the little work he does do is pathetically low quality, he is still making minimum wage after all these years. But that doesn't make any sense. And did you say your mom was the hospital director? Indeed, I did. Go ahead and take a minute to read all of what I said again if you need to. I understand it must be a lot to take in all at once. Let me guess, he told you that he was the hospital director, didn't he? Yeah, actually, he did. He always talked about how he was in charge of everything and nothing would get done right if it weren't for him. I never doubted him at all. I mean, I had no reason to. But now you're telling me that your mom is really the hospital director? If she couldn't even hold her marriage together, how could she possibly run a hospital, though? You're really lucky we are having these conversations by text, because if I was in the room with you... My mom divorced my dad because he was a slovenly drunk who gambled away all of my mom's money. Then in the middle of that, her parents passed away. They were the previous hospital directors, and she was tapped to take over for them. She was so busy with work, childcare, and housework that she never had any free time to fall in love again. Not to mention, if Mom got remarried, that would mean that we would have to live in a house with a man who we weren't blood related to and call him Dad. Mom could tell that we wouldn't be emotionally capable of processing that at our age, so she prioritized us over herself and never got remarried. Wow, really? That's crazy. But that means your mom got married to a lousy guy like that, right? Sounds to me like she had absolutely awful judgment, and I was right about her, just in a different way than how I thought. I'm not sure if you should be talking about someone else's poor judgment concerning men. People who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones, as they say. What do you mean? I was fortunate enough to inherit most of Mom's good traits, while Roger mostly inherited my dad's lousy ones. He gambles and drinks just like Dad, and when he gets upset, God help the next person who gets in his way. Plus, when things start to go badly for him, he just blames everything on the next closest person and runs away. I can't even remember how many times he broke something in the house and blamed me for it back when we were kids. So yeah, I think you should be careful with him from now on. With the way things are going right now, it's only a matter of time before he turns on you. That's just the kind of person he is. And since you chose him to be your husband, you have no one to blame but yourself when he does. But I had no idea about any of that. I'm the victim here, just like you. If I had known the truth about you and your mom, I would never have done any of that stuff to you. So please, can you get your mom not to cancel the wedding? No. That's all you have to say? No? I answered your question, didn't I? My mom is way too mad for me to get her to change her mind. I haven't seen her like this in a long time. She said that she's done with him now. She's firing him and disowning him as her son. What? But if you do that, then what's going to happen to me? I quit my job before getting married because I was planning on becoming a housewife for him. If he gets fired, then what? He'll be able to get a job at another hospital, right? Nah, that's not likely. My mom's a pretty big name in the local medical industry. Word's going to get around really fast. So everyone, from the directors to the janitors at all the local hospitals, are going to know what happened today in no time. That will most definitely cause him problems in getting a new job, which is exactly what my mom was aiming for. We've been far too forgiving to him up until now. And the result of all that was the current debacle. Okay, I understand. You were right about everything. I promise you I'll think differently about you after we're married, so please, at the very least, let us have our wedding. If we don't, I'm never going to be able to explain it to my family. Yes, you and my brother really are perfect for each other. I'm not surprised at all that the two of you clicked so well. You both have lots of the same problems, so you'll have plenty of opportunities to work on them together in the days ahead. Because let me tell you, you've got some trials coming your way, and unlike Roger, my mom and I honor our word. You asked us to stay out of your lives, and we intend to do just that. We wouldn't be giving you any form of support, financial or otherwise. I strongly suggest that you and Roger come together to find some way to work through this crisis. This time, you won't be able to talk yourselves out of it. Just as I expected, Roger flipped out at Lisa. He even threw the entire wedding cake at her, which started an all-out brawl between them. They were trading blows and words, each claiming the other was the most responsible for what happened. My mom fired Roger, and since he was unable to get a new job, Lisa was forced to go and beg her old company to hire her back. Unfortunately for her, however, she shared one more special quality with Roger. Everyone she worked with hated her guts. So her company told her they had already filled the position and wished her the best of luck in her future endeavors. I understand she's out looking for the highest paying part-time job she can find to make ends meet. I hope that the two of them learn several big lessons out of this and turn their lives around.